What's going on, guys? I don't know why I say that all the time. Haha. What's going on? So, okay, I'm working on this kitchen remodel, and made a bit of a mistake here when I was trying to show off the fan and how well it works. I cut this pine. This has this pine on the wall, old school construction, and I thought the joists, I've somehow assumed the joists were running this way, but no, they're running this way, which makes sense because the roof goes up like this, and all the studs and the roof rafters are in line. So anyway, just a big brain fart right there. But but what I'm doing is I have to support this hump. Now upstairs there's a bathroom and a laundry room, and it looks bad here, but then it's even worse in the middle. There's just a huge belly in this, so all these joists have, sunken down. And so I'm gonna continue tearing this soffit out above the cabinets, and then I'm gonna first try to cut a channel in because we're gonna add 2 beams across here. So I'm gonna have to jack up the floor joist and support it with a temporary wall, and then I gotta cut into the walls to get to the framing so I can support my floor joist. The beam. Okay, and then so here I added this support because it's crazy. These old, in balloon framing, these old the floor joists, which are running this way, the whole thing in this span, which is about probably 14 or 15 feet, it was notched. I don't know if you can see this. It was notched, and there's a 1x4 mortised into all these studs. So that whole entire floor joist is, see, it was nailed right here. That whole floor joist is riding on this, which is shear strength. This is very strong in a short span, but I didn't know that. I couldn't believe that was how they're just like hung there. So anyway, that was just a big misunderstanding on my part. But anyway, so I still want to fix this. This is one of the bigger flaws in this house. This house is really old. It is from like 1856 or something, before the Civil War. Super old house. But I think this was an addition. I'm not for sure. This part is still late 1800s construction, which is old pine, cut nails, and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to tear down the soffit, and then I'm going to try to cut a channel. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to drop the whole ceiling, and I'm going to do the framing, re-support it, and then, I got to get this part done so we can move forward with this kitchen renovation. I started a while back, but I've been busy with a few jobs, and then so it's getting pushed back. Everything's getting pushed back as usual, and this is how it goes. So I figured I might as well just show the construction stuff, what I'm working on. So yeah, let's do that. Let's start cutting that. I'm just gonna set the phone down. Got this. Also, I started to make a quick little video about my fan. I got the Super 1350 CFM fan, which will, and also have the other window open, so it's creating cross ventilation, and it will just take most of the dust right out of the room. So turn that on. A lot of flow, works great. So let's go ahead and just get going. Took me a while to set up. we got the ceiling all torn down. I didn't film all that because it was a mess. It was more of the same, tearing down the plywood, the first layer, 3/8 some paneling, so like an old MDF, 3/8 plywood, and then plaster and lath. So got all that torn down, and then we had a massive cleanup. We had a huge mess here. The whole thing was full of stuff. I mean, I didn't really prep as good as I should have with the dust. It was basically like soot. So it was a huge mess. We ended up ordering a dumpster. We got the dumpster about halfway full. I stacked it real nice and tight, and so that we have plenty of room still. So cleaned up the floor, and like I said, I probably should have prepped it better. I wasn't 100% planning on tearing that ceiling down, but anyway, I'm going to show you what I found is disturbing, and I've been worried about it and talking about it, telling everyone. It's kind of a big repair. I'm going to show you the upstairs floor and how bad everything is, but let me just switch this camera around and I'll show you what I found. Okay, so you see from the outside wall, this is the north wall here, that's west, but so these are close to the side wall, so they're not too bad. Have a little bit of a slope, but then if you look over here, let's see, it's kind of might be hard to tell on camera, but you see just how much that they dip down quite a bit. So the worst part is right in here. It's like a big belly, and so what I have is, okay, there's this old water pipe here that was notched in and had like this little channel of wood, and at first I thought I was gonna have to notch that, but now I'm just gonna cut that out, so that's good. I can keep my thickness. So what I have is 4 LVLs, laminated beams, and I got a little bit oversized. So this is a 2x10. It's 1 3/4 thick by 9.5, and so it's going to hang down. It's going to be stronger than what's there. So I'm going to end up having to fur out the ceiling to this level. But I was checking. So here's a notch. I'm testing. This stands up, and it is right here. This is a 1x4 that these are notched into, and I thought that they were just on those, but they are actually nailed. They are nailed to the studs on either side. So that notch makes it stand up here, and then so I have to fit all these. I'm over length by 4 inches, so I can slide one side in. You can slide it in here, raise it up, and then I have to be able to tip it up. So I'm gonna remove those X braces, which I've been totally sketched out about this whole thing, working on it, because I don't have any help until I'm gonna get some help with. We're gonna build a temporary wall and jack this up. But in the meantime, it's kind of freaking me out because there's a lot of weight up there, and there's actually like this cross wall with plaster on both sides, and a bathtub and a laundry room. But anyway, this is the first one I'm working on right here, and then this one didn't seem too compromised, and it will come up with the other ones, and I'll show you the next ones. Okay, so there's the first one I was talking about doing, and then I might skip this one because it's not really compromised. It's bowed, but it'll come up. It should come up with the other ones. But I just recorded a whole bunch of this, and then apparently I didn't record it. But this next one has this big crack. It's kind of compromised. Basically, it has like this long running crack. It almost looks like the pith or the middle but it's compromised, and so this one's going to get the beam, which I can't turn it up. If you look down there, there's a stud in the way. I have to be able to turn these up, so I have to come from this side on this one, and then the next one, this is the real bad one. You see how the whole thing is cracked and broken. So this is the worst one. It's pretty kind of sketchy. I have to remove, I have to come from the other side, but I have to remove this wiring in order to get my beam in there. Also, there's plumbing on this one. Let me move to the other side. But these are the ones that are really bowed. Kind of hard to see, but you go from this level down, and these are just very bowed down. You could see it more from upstairs, but this whole area, and then this next one, you can see it's been notched for plumbing in the past, and the rest of it at least is solid, but it has a big bow to it, so that's going to get a beam also. And then I have to notch out for this plumbing, but that's fine because these glue lamps, you know, even if you notch it out, they're still going to be very strong, a lot stronger than these floor joists. So these floor joists should have been like 2x12s. Nowadays, these are 2x8s, and it has, well, here you can even see this is the wall upstairs. It has lath and plaster on both sides. And something I just saw this morning is, if you look at, let's stand back and look. This is that upstairs floor. There's a wall right in the middle, and you can see it really pushing down right where the flooring splits. So just all kinds of weird stuff going on here. And then here's the other side of that break. You can see it's really broken. Luckily it hasn't, you know, snapped worse, because everything's kind of tied together, the flooring and all this. But so I just have to cut out this stuff and hope it doesn't, I don't know, I think I'm going to stick something under it temporary while I work on this. But yeah, luckily these, I thought that they were all just resting on this. This is a 1x4, but luckily they are nailed. A lot of them are nailed, side nailed to the 2x4s, so that's good. So anyway, that's just kind of what I'm working with. I've been freaked out, overthinking this thing and getting everyone involved, but this is like kind of a major repair, and this house has needed it. So we're gonna try to get this all resupported, and then you can move on with the regular kitchen remodel. But this will be good improvement, and much needed. So I'm gonna go upstairs and show you the how dipped the floor is. Like these outside walls would be close, but so this, it's at least 1.5 inches, almost probably 2 inches out a level. So that's what we're working with. And here, it's hard, it might be hard to tell, but basically the whole floor is just diving down. It's just diving down in the middle. And then this is so there's the interior wall with plaster and lath, and then the ceiling is probably sitting on that too. So there's a lot of weight on that down there.
Told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change. Had to find a way. Got up in the day, didn't have to leave my mind up there almost daily. It's hard past time. time, no opinion, safest. How I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things. What could go wrong? Justice for everything. I don't wanna let myself down, myself. I don't wanna let myself down, change my fate, you won't understand. All alone, that's okay. People I can't stand them. They don't want me to change, keep me where I'm standing. They don't wanna be, and I'm worth something more. Take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
That's the notch for the plumbing pipes in the wall. And then this is the notch. It's made smaller. Last time I used silicone. Never works out every time.
this is where I'm at. I've got this one notched out and laid up there. I can't turn it up until we jack up the joist because of the big bow. It will not turn up. And then I was trying to get them all in there, but I was going back and forth on how to fit these because you have to lay them down and then flip them up. So I was thinking I'm gonna put these two in and then readjust the jack. So I'm having a couple guys come and help me jack it up, and we're gonna get this one in, and then I have plumbing in the way right here. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and jack it up, and I gotta put a bunch of glue up there, and then I've got these screws. These are the screws I got, quarter inch by 3.5. There was a bunch of different kinds, but I didn't want to crack the wood too much, so I went with these 1/4 inch ones. And I think I'm going to pre-drill through the glue lam just to get them started so I can run them faster. So. See how it centralizes all that pressure? It's a lot better up top.
What is it?
Actually, it's the same as 105 right, a little bit more than 105 right now. This is a little bit less, so I do. This one didn't move. All right, keep going. This is this was one of your indicators, wasn't it, Dad? That was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this 106.5, which is similar. This one on the wall is 106 3/4.
Right.
So that's kind of a benchmark.
Yeah.
So we're 1.25 inches low still. 5 3/4. I just put the level up there. It was 1.25 still. It looked way better, but it's 1.25 still. That's what it does. This is 105 1/4. So this one barely moving. This one's the same. It's a little less than 105. So these haven't really changed. 105. So what we need to do is jack this one upside. Okay, guys. Here's what we ended up with. Got the engineer lamb LVL beams in. And it took a while. We struggled point jacking it in certain areas, pushing it up and then trying to keep the gains that we were getting. And then it was just really, we spent like a day and like a whole, we had it jacked up about 1 inch one day, and then we came back and did it the next day because it was very difficult to get everything up. So what I ended up doing was jacking up 1 point, gaining about 1/4 or 1/2 inch, moving over, jacking it up, and kind of going back and forth. So we finally got these. This was the first one here. Got that one in, turned up, and you had to have it jacked up enough because this is very much a straight line. And then we were getting it, so we had these all laid up there ahead of time, and then we had to jack it up, which basically it just was really not going as well as we thought. There's a lot of weight. They built bunch of walls up there and the ceiling, and there was just tons of weight on this. I mean, these original 2x8s, plus they've been cut out for plumbing. Like this is still the broken one. I didn't get an LVL in there, so I'm going to add 2x6s on either side. But I got the two beams right next to it, so it should be fine. And they're all bearing on the 1x4 that's notched into the studs. And also I'm going to add long screws wherever they hit. Some of them are nailed into the side studs, or the balloon framing wall studs. So wherever they're like that, I was going to add a couple of screws, because there's only like 2 nails per. But anyway, it was just a real struggle to get this pushed up. And now the floor, the hallway into the bathroom is level. The bathroom floor is level. These are all within an 1/8 inch of level. And you can see how much we push those other ones up. It's about 1.5 inches probably, give or take. So the old ones are kind of arched up. So it's pretty good. The only major problem, besides I'm adding 2x6s basically as a redundancy, just for extra stuff. But here's where they built this wall upstairs, not on a joist, right in the middle, and this flooring is just kind of crunching down. You can see it's getting worse over here, but in the laundry room you can see that it's crunching down. So I'm going to put a double 2x6 up here and jack this up, and then support from each side. I'm going to go with like a kind of like a beam, and then jack it up and then support there. So that's what I got to do. But yeah, it was a real struggle. And then this one, we had it laid in there. I wasn't even sure it was going to turn up, but it did, right by this plumbing. So that's good. And but it's a huge improvement. But like, it definitely, some of the stuff upstairs was built after that floor was already sagging. So it's kind of like there's definitely some cracking in the walls and some of the door trim, and there's some, I'll show you that later. But so right now I'm just going to do 2x6s here. I'm going to add, basically just adding extra, a long one here. It's just kind of extra support. So I'm going to do that, and then I have to kind of rejack these points a little bit, just enough to pull the shims out, and then basically let everything settle back down. So that's where I'm at, and then I'm going to keep on going, and then I got to put this wiring back so you can get the post out of here and clean it up so you can get a halfway usable kitchen. But yeah, it was quite the struggle. I'm not even sure, didn't think we were going to get it, but then it all came together at the end, and we got it. And these should be very strong. I just want to make sure everything is tied in really good. So there it is. Okay, I just added this double 2x6 here because there's a notch into the where it hangs on the wall here, and there was a notch cut out. If you remember, there was a notch cut out for the plumbing up there, and I just didn't like, that was kind of a weak spot, so I put in this double 2x6 that we were using for jacking. I took it apart, glued it real good, put it back together, and then glued it and screwed it to the new LVL with a micro lam beam. So that's just going to strengthen that area right here, and then also it acts as a stiffener, and it doesn't go all the way because the rest of it was fine, but this was the worst one, and it was definitely picking up a bow. When we let it down yesterday, it still had, I mean, it was holding fine, but it had about, it was out about 3/8 of an inch every 4 foot. So it definitely picked up a curve. So this kind of solves this issue, plus stiffens it here. And then I'm thinking about adding another, just a double in the middle, just to strengthen that, or another 2x6 double, just as a stiffener, so it should hold without bowing. So a little unorthodox, but like I said, it's structurally sound. It's just kind of a stiffener. And then I'm not sure if I showed much of this other stuff, but yesterday I had to bring 2x6s in the window, and I put those are just kind of like extra stiffeners, and then I reinforced this. They had changed this a while back for so cut this joist to put in plumbing, and so this was only one, so I added a 2x4, screwed it real good, and then the 2x6, so that just kind of reinforces that area. And then this other one, this one got a full length 2x6, because this was the broken one. And then I also reinforced the other side with just another piece, just because that was the broken area. And then of course I got new X bracing in, and then this one got a 2x6, which wasn't really necessary, but it's just extra support. So the next thing I have to do, besides finishing this, is I'm going to put up a double 2x4 or something right here. This is where that wall, they built the wall right there in the middle, and so that needs to be jacked up and then reinforced with a bunch of cross members. And so I'm going to do that next, and then that'll pretty much complete the framing repair. The upstairs floor is nice and level and really good. The main issue is this wall now, because it's just crunching the flooring down. So I'm hoping this should definitely strengthen this up, and then it's really good and strong now, and should be good. So I also have to fur out the ceiling to this new level, so that'll be a bit of a process. But that pretty much completes that. And then I'm gonna put in some new windows. I gotta put this wiring back that I took out, which connects over to a different part of the house, and also comes back over here for a light. So I gotta put that back in. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And I've got some leftover wood from where we're jacking up, so I was just going to use this as a stiffener, and then I'll probably use 2x4s for that wall reinforcement, so I can take some of those apart, or might make like a double or triple, kind of a little beam, and then put it up there, and then I'm going to jack it up and crunch that wall back up, because that wall, it kind of dives right in the corner. The rest of it's level, so I'll push that up, and that'll be good. So